All right, I was out playing some one-on-one with my teammate Dunner. Last night we were playing some Tour 2, just some friendlies, and caught a couple of the tournament holes. This one right here, I'm trying to figure out how to I'm trying to work the shot so that I'm coming down lower and I'm going straight towards the cup instead of up and using the hillside. And here's what I found was that and I took this shot with a Grim Reaper here, and then I made a little bit of an adjustment, and I came back and I caught this hole with my Grim Reaper again. I shot it with a Grizzly, and I shot it with a Saturn, and I did the same setup, which is slightly different than what I did on this shot right here, where I did 3 backspin, 1 and a sliver of right hand side spin. And then I adjusted it out. If you're using a Grizzly, you're about 3 rings off of that sand. If you're using a Saturn, you're about ring and a half, ring and 3/4 off that sand. And with a Grim Reaper, it's about the same, pretty close to the same as a Saturn. And going right straight at the cup, and with all 3 clubs, was able to catch perfect and end up with 3 hole-in-ones. So I do like this shot. Now, I'm not sure that I would use this shot down here if I was playing in one-on-one. So if I was playing in one-on-one, I might change it up, and here's why. If you're playing in the tournament and you use the 3 backspin, 1 and a sliver right-hand side spin, and you hit it perfect, it's right there at it. If you hit it great to the right, it'll engage that hill a little bit, and you'll end up on this bowl, and it'll just swirl around and come back, and you'll be super close to the hole. But if you hit it great to the left, you're on the flat, and it won't engage that hill at all, and you'll be like 3 or 4 yards off. And so if you hit it great to the left, you're almost, because of how close you can get on that hole, it's super easy to get off if you hit it great to the left, and you'll end up losing every single time. If you hit it perfect or you hit it great to the right, you'll be fine. But if you're playing a one-on-one, it might be a little safer to engage the hill. But I think during the tournament, I'm definitely going to try and go straight at it. So on this particular hole right here, I'm going to give you a bonus content. We'll do 2 of the holes. This hole right here is, I'm not sure which hole this is going to be in the tournament. It might be hole number 2, maybe. Let's see here, QB Rock. I think this is hole number 2. And so you can try and go through these trees. I've seen people get out into this area out here in front, where they're just like right in front of the green. But it's difficult to get around the bend and get up into that area. This hole, really, if you shoot through this gap with a 100% accurate club and just end up right off of the sand trap, what you've done, let me get my pen out here. Let me get my pen rolling. What kind of demo would this be if Ott didn't use a pen? I mean, come on, I got to draw all over the screen. It wouldn't be any fun if we weren't able to draw all over the screen. Let's erase that little dot. So when you're coming through this gap right here, trying to end up out in front of the sand trap, and let me move the video forward just a bit. See if I square it up. There we go. Let me pause it right there. That's a better image. So when you're going through this trying to end up out here, if you look at the way the green's going from this spot right here, you got a straight in shot where you can actually start off on the green and work the ball to the hole. The shot that I did there, I was just dinking around with a big topper just to see if, because they thin these trees out. And believe it or not, they've actually opened up this mouth a little. The picture that they show that Playdemic shows for the which holes we're going to be playing is actually showing the old configuration on this hole, not this configuration. And you can see if you go look at the image, it's real tight through this gap. These trees really, the trees are almost touching at the top. And so there's like a little tunnel that goes through there. I tried to, and they thin the trees out in this area here too. So I was just seeing what it looked like, whether you could get out here in front. But what I didn't like about out here in front is this angle coming in. I actually unless you want to put a little bit more backspin on it so you can start off on the green. You may have to start off on the fairway with your first bounce and then go towards the cup. But I do like this shot that's out here. And this is one of those things on these par fours is you have to, when we talk, and I don't necessarily think that this is a risk versus reward thing. It's a consistency deal. Like, I know if I could get up in here, my shot, I'm going to be in my wedge range, and I may have a better shot of getting it into the cup. But it's getting it up into here consistently and ending up in a consistent spot. So you may be here 2 out of 4 times, maybe 3 out of 4 times, but where are you on that 4th time? Are you caught up in the trees? Are you back in this area here? Or where are you at? Whereas trying to get right here in front of the sand, with a 100% accurate club, you can use a cubia. It doesn't matter what level you got. You can hit it through this gap. You can bring out a bigger ball if you'd like, but you don't necessarily have to. And you can end up right here by the sand, and you've got the same shot going into the cup just over and over and over again. And I have, one of my teammates posted the elevation stuff showing, like, I think this hole they had it listed at a -10 going to the cup. And so I'm not sure, when I see those elevations come out where they're talking about that, I'm not sure if that's really kind of like what because I know a lot of the community uses the apps, and I'm not sure if those elevations are for the apps or if it's for, pen and paper numbers where you're just looking at the accuracy and you're working the math and you're doing it in your head and you're not using the app. I've never done an elevation adjustment on the shot going to the cup. I've just done straight up wind adjustment based on where I'm at in my club. And if you can get up here by the sand, you're going to be in minimum short iron if you've got a big ball. And minimum short iron, just doing a minimum shot with your club. Same thing if you do the arc where I'm at down here and where Dunner's at down here. We're at about the same spot as far as where we're at in our club. And on this shot, I don't think either one of us did any extra elevation adjustment. We just take a straight up shot. So let's see how it works out. And I'm just trying to look to see there, because there used to not, I'm an educated man. Used to not. So there, you used to not be able to look underneath of those trees like that. So I'm just seeing, like, whether or not you can actually get underneath of those trees. I don't think I would ever do this in a tournament. It just seems like it's way risky to get up into the front there. But I see a lot of people do that shot, and I've seen people with varying degrees of success. I've seen people that are way up there, and I've seen people that are caught up in the sand and caught up in the trees. Whereas if you go through that gap with a 100% accurate club, it's not a hard shot to set up. If you bring a 100% accurate club and you start off right dead center in the middle of that fairway and you hit it great to the left or the right, you're still going to end up on the other side in the fairway. If you start hitting it 2 rings great to the left or the right, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble one way or the other. So Dunner's got a Katana, which is an awesome ball. There's a lot of stuff you can get done with a Katana. There's a lot of times people pull out Kingmakers and Titans, and really all they needed to do was pull out a Katana. So that right there is a absolutely perfect shot. And you can see right here, this is what I'm talking about, where the angle that I'm coming in at it, I'm having to start off the green. So sometimes when you start off on one surface and then you're going from one surface to the next surface on these short shots, you can get a slight irregular bounce. So it's always best if you can start off on the surface, on the putting surface, and then go to the hole, instead of having to bounce it off from the fairway to get over there. Just a little teeny sliver of backspin, just enough to woe the ball up, kind of control the tip of the ball right there at minimum club. Got a 1.7 wind at minimum club. It's 2 per ring, so it's a little shy of a ring. trying to hit it perfect. In the hole. That's the thing about this hole is if you hit it perfect going into the cup and you've lined it up, you made a great wind adjustment, you're going to end up in the hole. I really like this hole. This is a hole you just need to, the key here is hitting it perfect into the cup. I mean, that's the same with all of these holes, but this particular hole, I've played this hole quite a few times. If you come at it and you can hit it perfect into the cup. So you can see where Dunner's at. Put a little teeny bit more backspin on it. Starting it off right there at the transition between the fringe and the fairway and the green, but he's on the green. See if he can get it in the cup. Give you guys some bonus content here. And he's doing the same thing. He's just doing a straight up wind adjustment, no elevation. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle, eagle. So there's a couple different ways right there to get eagles on that hole. I like Dunner's way better going on that side. I think that side is a lot more consistent. I think you're going to net a lot more eagles if you go to that side. Let's see which par 3 we got here at the end of this. We played for another hour, and I ran out of video space because I was uploading some videos while we were playing. But there's a couple of the holes right there that we're going at in the tournament. Let's go look at those real quick. Let's go look at them. I think that might have been holes 1 and 2 of the tournament. Those are Juniper Point. And we're on hole 2. So this was the first one. So on this hole right here, what I found is if I'm going to use a Grizzly on this, but I tried this with 3 different bags. I used a Grizzly. Like I said, I used a Grizzly, a Saturn, and a Grim Reaper. I was using 3 backspin. 1 and maybe a quarter right side spin. And where that put me with my Grizzly is it put me about 3 rings off of the sand. And it was real close. I mean, I went immediately to the 3 rings off of that sand, and then I made the adjustment. And I think I had to dial it just a titch to the hole. And that puts me on this lower track where I'm staying down here. And I think I'm going to continue to work that shot. I really once I figured out the backspin, right-hand side spin, what I started off doing is I was actually putting on more backspin, and I was getting closer to the hole. I was getting too close to the hole. So I took some backspin off so that I would have to pull the club back. And, but I still wanted to stay with this right-hand side spin. This was important because I wanted to be able to ride the bottom of that hill and go towards the cup. And I do think that this is the shot that I'm going to be taking in the tournament. But I'm not sure in one-on-one if it's only going to work in one-on-one if you hit perfect or great to the right. If you hit it great to the left, you're already out here on the flat, and it'll just roll out here to the flat. And you're going to end up, like I said, about 3 to 4 yards away. So you're going to end up losing a lot of shootouts if you use this shot and you hit it great to the left. If you hit it perfect or great to the right, you'll be fine. But it does take that out. Whereas if you're engaging the hill, it's not going to matter as much whether you hit it great to the left, great to the right, perfect. It's going to get down there by the cup, get into that bowl, and you're going to be within 2 yards every time. So that was the one hole that we looked at. And the next hole was hole number 6. Is it hole number 6? It is hole number 6. So on this one, I really do think that hitting it out into this area right here and then bringing it into the hole is the consistent way to get it. I know that you can get up here closer, but I just think consistency-wise, one of my other teammates, Dez, and Dez just came back to the clan. One of the things that I learned from Dez is that because I believe that when you're playing these tournaments, we make our money on par 4s. Because if you can get eagles on the par 4s, that's where for me, winning banners is it's nice to get hole-in-ones, it's nice to get albies, but the par 4s are where you can really make your money. And one of the things I learned from Dez is that it's better to be in a spot like this where you can get in this spot 100% of the time and then you get this shot 100% of the time than it is to take a shot where maybe going over the trees or through the trees or around the trees, you make that shot 75% of the time. Well, where were you at the other 25%? And so a quarter of the time you're in a non-favorable position and you're having to scramble. And it's not that, you know, if you play this game, you can work your win and you can do it. And it's not that you can't make some of these 25%, but here 100% of the time you're in the same spot and you're shooting the same shot over and over and over again. And consistency is going to get you a better score than inconsistency. So I'm even though I know that there are ways that we can come at this to try and get closer to the hole, I really think, I mean, what more do we want than a minimum short iron shot with a nice opening right up to the hole? So I'm going to shoot through the gap with a rock or a QB, get into that area, and then try and bring it home to try and get my eagle on this hole every single time we get on it. All right, that was a couple of the holes for the upcoming Coast to Coast tournament. Just a little bit of gameplay. Hopefully everybody's having fun. Hopefully everybody's getting, we can get some of these holes in Tour 2. I don't think that all of the Juniper Point holes are in Tour 2. The only 2 holes that I saw that we actually are going to play in the tournament are the 2 holes that I demoed right here. I think most of it's going to have to be up in Tour 6 if you want to get the rest of the Juniper Point holes. And obviously, if you want to get the City Park holes, you'll have to play Tour 6. All right. There you have it. Thanks for watching.